Right, hello my shmupping friends. Now anybody who's seen any of my Nintendo Switch shmup videos before will realise that it's been a long time since I did one. Many months, certainly over a year, probably near a year and a half. So in that time, obviously I've picked up a few new ones since I did the last one. So I thought what I'd do today is just go through them all to give you a good idea what the whole collection's looking like, and just show you very briefly what's what with them. Now I'll have to get a shift on because my pad only allows me 30 minutes of video, unfortunately, and I've got a few to get rid of. But before we start, just a few ground rules here. I'm only showing today the vanilla versions of the game. Yeah, as you can, if you look behind me there's the few collector's editions I've got. I'll do them. I'll do those on a separate video. Also, I'm not collecting rail shooters, arena shooters. What's the other one? Rail, arena, run and guns. That's it. I know it was that RAR. Run and guns. I don't really consider them proper shmups, you know. So yeah, that's about it. So let's get into it. We're going to start with the Japanese ones. Never Awake. It's not a traditional shooter, that one, but it's. I'm always quite. I'm not upset, but annoyed when I have nothing at all in the middle of these. I think we deserve to have something a bit better for the price. Right, now that's the Telenet shooting collection. That's got a Gaiara's is a Mega Drive. Then there's a few Avenger, something or other. Anyway, the rest, the other three are PC Engine CD games. There's a new one coming out actually with quite some rare PC Engine games on it, so I'll be interested to pick that up. Right, Akai Katana Shin. That got a European release, but that's the Japanese version. I think it has more than one game on it. I think it has a variant, but at least that's got some nice art inside. And that, I think it comes from the the Neo Geo, that one. Not absolutely certain about that. Right, what we got? No, that's a very recent one that I got. One of the Saturn tributes, Wolffang and Skullfang. Wolffang's not a traditional shooter, but Skullfang is. So yeah, I'll allow that as a shooter. Again, you know, some nice artwork at least, which is at least something. Right, now we come to the M2 games. That's the Dodonpachi Blissful Death Reincarnation, I think it is. I normally forget the title. But of course, with M2 you can always guarantee quality. It's a good game, and they give you an alternative cover and a little guide all in Japanese. But to say these little things, you know, at least there's something other than a blank box with a white background, which, as I say, is pretty awful as far as I'm concerned. That's Zero Wing and Zero Wing. Oh, what's the other one? Hellfire. That's it. That's why it's called Zero Fire. A couple of, what were they first on the Mega Drive, were they? Again, you've got some nice art, alternate cover, and controls all in Japanese, which is not a lot used here really. Okay, now this one is a game that's well thought of. Esperade. Nobody knows how to pronounce that. I'll just call it Esperade because it's easier. Another M2 game. Only ever came out in Japan, that one. And so typical of all the M2 games, it's got those little bits inside. Then we have maybe tiger shark and oh no, tiger heli. Sorry, it's all in Japanese. So yeah, they're the tiger heli games. There is another one with the flying shark and the other shark. I won't bother showing you the inside because they're all basically the same. Right, yeah, and that's the... No, sorry, I've got that wrong. That is the one with the fire shark and sky shark games on, and that's the tiger heli one. I always get confused with those two. But, here again, I think that was like the previous one, I think that was a Japanese only, but we've got a Western release for that one. Alas, that's one, yeah. Very popular. It's got the Game Gear, less games on it, and also an original game that M2 did for that particular edition. Again, it's a very well thought of compilation, that one, and again, it's unfortunately it's Japanese only. Right, so then we have... Now this did come in a kind of a collector's edition, bullet sold double pack, but the edition is like flat and I've got nowhere to store it properly, so I dug the game out and I'll show the other bits and pieces when I do the collectors and limited editions, what have you. There's the bullet souls on there and the sequel, which is bullet souls something or other. I can't remember. Sivaria. That was quite an early Japanese game. I thought it was limited, but it's not. It's not a game that I particularly care for. And unfortunately it's got some DLC, but of course it's Japanese. You'd need a Japanese account, which I have, but I'm too lazy. And it'll probably be out of date anyway. Right, now this one is the one with a weird name. I think it's excuse me, Il Velo, Swamp and Radoji, something else. Something or other, I can't remember. It's a crazy title. But Radoji was a Dreamcast game. I'm not so sure about Il Velo. It's got a very interesting bit of art in the middle, I remembered. But yeah, that's one of those off-the-wall games that you'll never see in Europe. Okay, what have we got here? Oh yeah, that's a fairly recent one I got. Devil Engine, the complete edition. That varies from, I think Limited Run did it in America, but this is a more complete edition. Can't rightly remember what the additional items are, but it's considered to be the better of the two releases. All right, we got yes, Raiden Nova. I mean, I like the old Raiden games, and this is not really typical of those. I mean, not to say it's a bad game, but I prefer the old. Missing the cartridge because I think that's in my Switch. Nice bit of artwork inside. And then we have Trigger Heart Excelica. Not a game I care for, actually. There again, it's got some nice artwork inside. Right, and we've got Radeji 2. That's Ray's Arcade Chronology. There was a European edition of this that was missing 2 of the games. This is the complete Ray Force set, whereas I think the English version only had a couple of games on. So you don't really want that one unless you can't afford the other one. It's not cheap actually, the Race Chronicle there. Right, what have we got? Oh yeah, I chose to get the Japanese version of this. No particular reason why, I just like Japanese games. It did come out in Europe, and that's Castle Shikigami 2. A bit like the old Saikyo games of the past. And this one is Kyekkyo Geki Quartet Fighters. I can never remember that. So it's like an 8-bit shooter, like a bit like a NES shooter really, but it's bare bones. But you did actually get a little box. I don't know whether it's trying to emulate one of the old 8-bit machines, and then you did get a soundtrack with it as well. Although it wasn't classified as a limited edition. It was quite cheap, but it's not so much now. And of course you get that nice little case for it as well. Yeah, right. So that takes care of the Japanese games. We'll move on to... Now I've got these arranged by publisher, strangely, and they're not all alphabetical. So Shicondo. It's like based on Japanese mythology, I think. I didn't care for it when I played it, but other people might like it. Right, Ghostblade HD. There's another one that was quite cheap a while back, but not so much now, because it's out of print. I forget where it did come from. The Dreamcast it was on originally, but it's quite a solid shooter, that one. Freedom Finger. This is the only super rare game I've got. So it's a weird one. It's like a cartoon shooter with, as you can see there, with the finger and the fingers. It varies wildly in price. I mean, I saw it and I shied away from it. Then I saw one at a decent price, and so I bought it. If you see one at a decent price and you collect these, I would definitely go for it. Right, Jamestown. We're on to limited run games now. And none of these are cheap, are they? Jamestown, it's sort of set in the 16th century or something, on Mars. It's a solid shooter, but a bit strange to say the least. Right, then we've got the Konami Arcade. Now, I mean, that is a compilation, but it's mostly shooters. I think there's one game on there called Haunted Castle, which is a Castlevania rip-off. But there are 7 Konami shooters on there, so that's fine. Right. Danmaku. No, I don't like Danmaku games. I find while you're watching all the bullet patterns, you can't appreciate the rest of the artwork in the game. They play more like a puzzle to me, and I find them very frustrating. But excuse me, I have to take a drink. A lot of people like them. I'm more with the old traditional riding R-type, Gradius type of stuff. Right, everybody likes that. Drainus. This is one I've not played myself. Maybe I should get around to it. That's a limited edition of 3500. The Dan Maku was, where are we? Didn't say that was limited, but anyway, that's 3500 is not a lot. And then we've got Rolling Gunner and Overpower. Strictly limited again, that was number 3000 odd of. It's weird. Oh, sorry, I'm misreading it. It's 1900 of 3000. So, you know, quite a small run, really. That's an interesting one. I've not seen that about much. Didn't pay an arm and a leg for it, but it's a limited edition of 2000, so not many of those about. Right, here we come to the interminable number of, cotton games. Cotton 100%. And I played that one in particular. That's a 2,500 run. And here we come into the plethora of cotton games. What's that one? Cotton Reboot. Again, I've not played that one, so I can't advise whether it's worth a purchase or not. That's by Inin, who are doing quite a lot of shmup shooters these days. And that's the best of the cotton games. I've played that one. Its alternative title is Cotton Rock and Roll. I enjoyed that one. Again, that's by Inin, and again by Inin, Darius HD. Quite a solid shooter, that one. Can't remember what machine that debuted on. Where was the PlayStation 1, I think. Might be wrong. And what's that one? Another Chronicle. And there is another one of these similar title called CS. I can't remember what the CS stands for now. But I can't find a copy of it anywhere. So I don't know if it's just one of these myths or whether it actually came out. But you know, a lot of these rogue places like First Press have announced games for pre-order and then 3 years later they're still not printing them, as some of you will painfully know. Right, sorry I bought this, because there's a Japanese version with a lot more in it. Japanese version but Japanese one's got the console versions, whereas it's just the bare bones Mega Drive version, I assume. So yeah, I might have to part with that and try and get the Japanesey one. Android Junos 2. I remember playing the first Android Junos game on the Neo Geo when I had one. Just a bare bones shooter, really. Quite hard, as I remember, and this one's no different. I had a quick bash at it, but yeah, it's gets hard very quickly. It was quite cheap, now it's not. Don't know why. Oh yeah, the Shmup collection, that's quite a nice little That varies wildly in price as well by Pixel Heart there. Yeah, it's got Arm 7, Cetasius and Wolflame, which is a vertical. My favourite of the three. And right, where are we on to now? Red Art games here. They're doing quite a few shmups for the Switch as of late. Shinorubi. I don't want to make of this. Quite enjoyed it. It's a vertical shoot, a bit like Dodonpachi, but it makes your eyes bleed. You know, the graphics are so bright. Yeah, it's I would imagine it's a Marmite game. That one, you either love it or you don't. Love it or hate it, I should say. That's another one, a recent purchase, that one. It's got the 2 Jets and Guns game on it. I don't mind these. A lot of people say, oh, Euro shmup, you know. But yeah, I don't mind it. Quite good fun. And that's got, as I say, it's got Jets and Guns 1 and 2. Right, how are we doing? Good time, okay. Get through this last little batch. Now, yeah, VGNY. No, sorry, we're not quite to them yet. That's another Red Art game, Soft Star. Everybody likes that one, I don't care for it. It's a bit too, I don't know, simplistic for me. But maybe that's just me. I seem to be in a minority of one. Right, now VGNY, as I started saying there, is an American publisher, and they do their games in 2 editions. An ordinary edition and an edition with like a foil cover, if you like. You can maybe just see it there. Foil. But you also get a little booklet inside and a certificate of authenticity. It's an extra £5 from the normal version, but I don't mind paying. These are limited editions. That's limited to 4,000. And then Crisis Wing. I've got that on the PS5. I normally play it on there. Yeah, same setup. You know, it's got a little manual and God, you know, they're quite well presented. If you want to pay the extra £5, that's entirely up to you. That's the old Sentinel game. Reimagining of the old Sentinel game. Was that? Are we going back to Commodore 64 era here? I think so. So it's the same setup as the other 2. And stellar interface, which is the least interesting of. I think they do another 2 games that I've yet to get, but I will be getting them just to make up the set. Righty. Right, this is a recent. Well, these next 2 are a recent addition to the collection. Toaplan. Arcade Collection Volume 1. Now this is all shooters except Outzone and Fixate are like top-down shooters. I mean they play like shmups, to be honest. Yeah, you get Tiger Heli Flying Shark, Twin Cobra Fire Shark, Dogyun and Batsugan, apart from the other 2 I mentioned. And Volume 2. You're treated to Slap Fight, as well worth getting it just for that. Truxton, Hellfire, Twin Hawk, Zero Wing, Vimana, Truxton 2 and Grindstormer. So, you know, I would buy that just for Slap Fight and Truxton. Love them. Okay, what have we got? Radiant Silvergun. Again, not a game I particularly rant over, but it's well popular. These are by, again, River. Clear River. Yeah, they seem to be doing quite. The 2 Toaplan ones are Clear River, that's Clear River publishers as well. They seem to be doing quite a few lately. There's a few that I still need of theirs. Right, another great cave shooter, Death Smiles. Of course, you get 1 and 2, so that's a good deal. Clear River again. One of the best caves, apart from Mushihima Sama, which I love. I've got that as a collector's edition, so I'll show you that later. That's Sternway next. I remember playing that on the Dreamcast. Quite enjoying it. This is by Pix and Love, whoever they might be. Yeah, I mean you get a little manual and a reverse cover, so wasn't cheap either, as I remember. Nor was that. You want to get one. That's well out of print a long time ago. Rigid Force Remix. I've not actually played it, but you get certificate of authenticity. There's only 2,000 of them, which probably explains why it's not easy to find at any price these days. Right, and then we've got the Saturn Tribute version of Cotton, which has got Cotton 2, Cotton Boomerang, which is a rail shooter as far as I remember, and then another game called Guardian Force, which is like a tank shooter overhead, but not a proper shmup. Okay, that's another one of the Saturn tributes, but Sugan. Generally thought of as the first bullet hell, or one of the first anyway. That's an Asian edition, but it's all in English, so no worries there. And I think this is, the one I showed you previously, the Cotton Saturn Tribute, also an Asian edition. Right, these are the two remixes they did of Raiden 3 and 4. Mikado Maniacs Remix. Now this is a deluxe edition. I don't know if this was the only edition or whether it varies from vanilla, but it says it includes a poster and a digital soundtrack. Oh, there indeed is that poster, but digital soundtrack I assume is on the cartridge. And then they also did Raiden 4 as a remix. Okay. And the last few I have to glide through quickly. That's another vanilla game. People either love it or hate it. Bit of story in there. I didn't mind it. Aces of the Luftwaffe. Get the DLC on the cartridge as well. It's okay. A bit story driven, but it's a fairly solid shooter. Them Hoggy Hue. I always get that wrong. Yeah, it looks like a kid's game, but it ain't. It's rock solid. Demon Throttle, that's an overhead. I mean, it plays like a shmup, but it's overhead, actually on the ground, but it plays like a shmup, so I'll include it. And then finally we have two waifu games. Now, I'm not going to dwell on those because they're rubbish, A, and B, they're just catered for people who like ladies getting their clothes reduced every time you lose a life or something. Not really my cup of tea, but you might like it. Okay, folks, I just managed to creep in there time-wise. Hope I didn't rush too quickly. So hope you enjoyed that little look at the vanilla editions. I mean, if anybody writes in and says it's a crap collection, you're missing this, that and the other, I'm missing about 30 that I'll be getting at some point, hopefully. Anyway, I'll be back at some time looking at those behind me there, and in the meantime, Thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye now.